Hi, coaches. Uh, this is John Altieri and Dana Clark with Gravity Goldberg LLC, members of Gravity's team. And we've been working to each month offer just a short conversation in support of coaches and your work. This month, we wanted to talk a little bit about the idea of contribution. This has been a theme that we've been talking about as a team for a while. And we've been talking about this with you coaches as well. And I realized the idea of contribution is something that was always in the background of a successful workshop. That in a community of readers and writers, we want students to be able to, and everyone in that workshop, teacher and students included, to be able to contribute. But lately, it's felt like I've been feeling like it's a challenge to have the same level and type of contribution that I used to have in person. And I've been kind of feeling, sometimes having moments of like fatalistic feelings of like, oh, is this even possible? And Dana, you often remind me, you know, maybe this constraint of working hybrid and virtually offers students more, and maybe there are more opportunities. So can you just share what are some of the ways that you've been thinking about contribution with teachers, and that maybe all of you out there as coaches might be able to talk about contribution with teachers?
Sure. So, I think that one thing that we probably have all been thinking about, not just now in this hybrid experience or in this remote experience, but in general, is the conversations and the contributions that kids are invited to make in our classrooms. And it brings me into that idea of discussion. And I feel like there have always been like two sides of a challenge. Like when we're trying to have these whole class discussions, one thing that I feel like has always been a challenge is getting all voices an opportunity to find a way into that. And I felt like there was usually, honestly, a few kids who were carrying the discussion. And then when we flip that and try to make sure that everybody has an opportunity and we do things like turn and talk, that does give everyone an ability to bring their voice into an idea or a way of thinking, but it also limits us because we don't get to hear the beautiful contributions of everyone because they're only said to one or maybe two people. And so, how do we do this work of making sure that all of our students have the opportunity to contribute to our class? And I feel like now in this hybrid space, we've found new opportunities and new pathways for students to be able to contribute. So I think sometimes about the student who just maybe feel like they needed a little bit more time to process and think. Those students now have opportunities to pause, think, and then contribute in a chat because they have time to formulate the way that they want their idea to come out a little bit more than if they had to keep up with the fast pace of an oral discussion. Or, students who want to think about sharing in a different way, they now can contribute by creating something, whether that be a piece of art or a video, to show their understanding of something. And so in conversations with teachers, I feel like what we can do together is just think about, where are we really being intentional about inviting students to contribute to each other? And then what are the tools that we can use and the invitations in our instruction to allow for that, whether that be with Jamboard or Flipgrid or simply using the chat or breakout rooms, whatever way we feel like feels right to us, we may actually be able to hear more voices than we had in the past.
Yeah, I think about having just recently talked to some teachers who were reflecting on this and saying they notice certain students showing up more than they might have before. And we had this realization like, oh, well, now we have an option because this kid is the video kid who now really shows up because they love that format of being able to publish and share their thinking. Said, oh, well, this week if we're offering a couple options of how these kids are going to contribute to their classmates this week, that's going to be one of the options we're going to put on the table for them.
For sure. And so I hope that we're able to do that with being intentional about our planning, with each other and with teachers, and allowing them to think about all of the opportunities that they can really bring forward to students to help them feel like they can contribute.
All right, thanks, Dana. And so as coaches, as you're doing this work, we'd love to hear from you about what are the ways that you've been noticing students able to show up and contribute in ways that maybe they hadn't before. What is this new constraint of working virtually in a or hybrid model offering us to then be able to turn that over to offer teachers some more options for students to show up to their classmates. Thanks, Dana.
Thanks, John.